All right. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming. These folks are from a place called Finwell Benefits, and they're going to explain about how their work model lines up with exactly what we're talking about, the move to working remotely from your home. They are in 3 different cities over across the nation, so they're used to having to work with each other and get things done remotely, and as well as communicating effectively with each other. Because of Corona, this probably is probably what work life's going to look like for a while. Although the folks at Finware were doing this already, it wasn't a new or novel thing for them. They had been doing this already, so they have a lot of good information, some good experiences they can talk about, so you can understand how that looks and what you need to make sure you're doing if you're going to work remotely. You've got to figure out how you're going to work, how you're going to live your life, what kind of place you're going to, what your space is going to be like. So I'm going to introduce the following folks. We have Brianna Stott. She's the CEO of Finwell. She works out of Tennessee. And then we have Yvette Stott, who's from LA, I understand, and she is, correct me if I'm wrong, Yvette, that you are
relationship.
Okay. Dominic McQueen, let her introduce herself because she's got a big long title. And we have Will Ashburn as well. Will is our alumni who graduated in 2018 with his Trust and Wealth Management degree and his master's. So we'll just let them start off in that order of introducing themselves, and then we'll start some questions. Go ahead, Brianna.
Great. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Brianna Stott, and I'm a certified financial planner as well as the CEO and founder of Finwell. We founded Finwell because we wanted to create a place where we felt we can help our own friends and family make right financial decisions without having any sort of sales quotas. And we also wanted to develop a company that would fit all of our lifestyles. And all of us like to travel and be outdoors. And we didn't want to be tied to one location just because of where we worked, which is why we are a tech-enabled financial wellness, planning, and wealth management firm. Thank you.
Yvette, you want to go next?
Sure. Thank you, Jill. Hi, everyone. My name is Yvette Stott, and I do hail from the lovely city of Los Angeles. And I oversee our client relationships as they relate to coming on board and learning more about Finwell services and really understanding the members' needs. And I work in tandem with your fabulous alumni, Will. Or alumnus, sorry.
Thanks, Yvette.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dominique, and I am the head of wealth and investment management here at Finwell. I'm also a certified financial planner, and I have the chartered financial analyst designation. Part of my role here at Finwell is to ensure that after we create a financial plan for our clients, we construct the appropriate portfolio that enables our clients to meet their financial goals moving forward.
All right, Will.
Hey, everybody. Like Jill said, my name is Will Ashburn, and I am a Campbell alumni. So I graduated in 2018 from the 4+1 program with them. So with the undergraduate in Trust and Wealth Management and the MBA. So financial planner with Finwell. Really what that means is I manage a book of business of clients that, are looking for assistance with improving their financial wellness and creating, a comprehensive financial plan. So excited to be working with Finwell. It's been an awesome experience and looking forward to talking with you guys a little bit more about us and working from home.
Yes, I will mention that Finwell will be conducting interviews with us this fall on October 6th. And we'll have those available dates if anyone wants to sign up to work interview with them, and they can choose who they would like to see. So that's going to be available next month. Okay, well, let's jump right in. One of the things that I would imagine working from home is if you have to set certain hours, or are you able to be flexible with that?
So I'll start off. We have general hours where we want to be able to connect with everyone, and that's typically between 10 and 4. We have more flexibilities in the mornings and in the evenings because we want to cultivate a culture where there's this work-life balance, right? And so people have families, they need to be able to spend time with them. We don't want to invade on those early morning hours or those evening hours. And so typically we try to make sure that if we have to connect with everyone, we're mostly available between, the core 10 to 4 hours. But in the evenings, there's a lot more flexibility.
Okay. Do you have a routine that you start your day? Is it, is a certain thing you do? I mean, much like you would get up and put on makeup and clothes and things like that, I guess you don't have to do those things or drive into work and stop by and get a biscuit or anything that looks like. Do you guys have a morning routine that you follow to kind of get you in the work zone?
I could take that one. So I am very organized, and I think that's been my sanity during this time is having and sticking to a morning routine. So by no expectation, I don't expect others to like follow my lead, but I wake up at 4:30 a.m. to work out at 5 a.m. so I could work out from 5 to 6, and then I walk, and then in between my workout and my walk, I will always outline like my priorities for the day. And I'm good with like a good old fashioned paper and pen because that works for me and I like to check things off. So I'll write down the priorities and the tasks that I want to accomplish. I'll look at my calendar for the day and then I'll insert those items in my calendar to make sure that those priorities are taken care of, and also leaving space for me to creatively think and strategize with others. So for me, my morning routine really kicks things off also with the good old fashioned cup of coffee. Can't survive a day without that either. And then just prioritizing my list of to do items. And I make one for myself, I make one for Finwell, and any other organizations that I'm a part of.
Good. Okay. Um, okay. So we talked about having a space. I'm here in my office, but obviously you guys work different places in your own homes, and the people and the animals that are living in the home with you, how do you make a distinct break with that? Do you have certain things say, hey, kids, you can't come in here when I'm here doing this? Is there something on the door, hanging on the door, so they know not to enter? I worked remotely this summer, and I was constantly in fear that one of my sons was going to walk behind me in not appropriate attire while I was on a meeting. So I fast became where I got secluded. So do you have things like that as well?
I can take that one. So I don't have kids yet, but I do have a dog. So it tends to hang out with me during the day in my office or wherever I'm working. And he really likes to snore when I am on calls. So I kind of keep a little balled up sock next to my desk so I can throw it out when he's making too much noise. But yeah, so normally how it works for me is I have a kind of a dedicated space where I like to work. It's in my just second bedroom, and that really helps me kind of compartmentalize like work versus home. It's kind of difficult, like if you don't have a dedicated space, at least mentally, right, to be able to say, okay, this is kind of my work zone and my, enjoyment zone or home zone, right? So I think it is important to have maybe a dedicated workspace. Uh, yeah, so, but it is interesting though, because my wife and I both work from home, and, we like to share that office. So kind of in the beginning of the day, she'll say, okay, I have calls from maybe 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So I need the office then. So really we start our day off by compartmentalizing, our own days and kind of making sure that we're not, messing with each other's schedules. But usually when I've got my headphones in or she's got her headphones in, it means do not disturb. So that's kind of the last little thing I'll say.
Yeah. You said that do you each have your own dedicated office space with like printers and computers and monitors set up, or is it kind of you just take your laptop somewhere and work?
Yeah, yeah. So like if she has the office, I'll just kind of go into maybe like the kitchen or something like that, and kind of work that way. And you can't always make it work, right? And your situation is unique to you. So if you can't have a dedicated workspace, then
And tag, I'll jump in. So I have I had to purchase a desk and partition a section of my living room and really make it functional for myself. And it's a small, cozy, quaint apartment here in Los Angeles. So, you know, space is of the essence. And so that's what I had to do to really partition out and just divide space and also be able to transition from a work mindset to eating at my kitchen table. Originally, I found that I couldn't work and eat dinner at my kitchen table. Maybe that's where the quarantine 15 kind of kicks in. So for me, dividing and partitioning a space that I could have and just really get into the zone, and that's what I call it when I'm in my space. And that's what my desk and partitioning a portion of my living room has done for me.
All right. Okay. So with that said, we're getting into the day, and do you schedule breaks for yourself? Do you stop and have lunch and leave that space and go somewhere else? You go take a walk. Do you just kind of let free, or do you just find yourself kind of just pushing through the day and not taking those breaks like you would if you were at the office and you had someone come to your door and ask a question?
I guess I could take that one. And then somebody else can chime in. I think in the absence of working in the office together, you miss out on that water cooler talk. So I think, you know, hopping on like a quick FaceTime and us joining each other and just having like a quick conversation that's either work related or non-work related allows us to have that mental break and then get back into our zone. As I shared earlier, I find it important on my calendar to put space and eat healthy and not eat at my desk, because then I feel like I'm not getting that mental break and to process and also to enjoy my food and what I'm consuming and making sure I'm not just eating because I'm bored or eating because I'm stressed or eating because I'm trying to fill time, that I'm really dedicating healthy space for work and life balance. And I think Dominique was going to add something to that.
Yeah, so we also have group chats. We have a personal group chat and we have a work group chat. And so when we're ready for a break, we would just chime in and say, hey, do you guys have a minute for non-work related stuff? And we take 5 to 10 minutes out and just joke around and just bring some humor to our day before, to get re-energized and jump back into the day. So we try to do that a lot. I would say several times out of the day, just check in for like 5 minutes if we just want to chat personally before we head back to our regular scheduled task.
That's interesting that you do that. You take sidebars. That's great. So that's one of the things I was asking about socializing. When's the last time all of you saw each other in person, or does that ever happen?
I don't think I've seen Brianna in over a year now in person, which is crazy. But it's been a while. It's just our work schedules are so busy. And with technology, you sometimes don't even think about the last time you physically have seen someone because you're always in constant communication via text message or FaceTiming. So it doesn't even, come up where, oh, when was the last time you physically saw this person? So it's kind of weird that you ask because I just have to think about it and realize that it's been over a year.
It's interesting. So as far as you saying you're texting and you're emailing each other, do you feel like you have to over communicate at times? I've heard that you really have to communicate when you're in this situation with what's going on, if you've completed tasks or what's on the agenda that has to be done. How do you guys balance that? How often how does that look? What kind of, are you texting? Are you calling each other or Zoom meetings like this?
I could speak to a little bit about that, and I think my team will laugh because you realize how important tone is and detail when you're writing a message versus speaking a message. And sometimes I will quickly send out a message, whether it's something we need to get done or something new that came about from one of our clients. And it's just easy to get lost in translation. So a lot of the time I might send something, but then it says, let's get on a call to discuss. That way we all can get on the same page.
And we also have group meetings, like professional meetings, twice a week. So we have a kickoff on Monday mornings, and we have an end of the week on Friday afternoons. And that way, we're able to outline all of the tasks that we want to accomplish during that week. And if there are miscommunications throughout the week through, not being able to have that face to face, when we have our check-in on Fridays, we're able to then diagnose if there have been any issues, and make sure that we've all been on the same page relative to the tasks that we have at
Okay.
hand.
So do you have separate phones that you have that you use for clients and colleagues versus your own family, or do you just kind of it all folds into one?
I could speak to that. So because of the nature of our business, we do have a company provided line, but it's a virtual phone line. So we don't have a separate tangible phone. Instead, it's a localized number as well as a national number. And we utilize links similar to a WebEx, but it actually looks like a phone line. We utilize something called Uber Conference. It's came out of Silicon Valley, and we've really liked it. Additionally, we do each have our own cell phones, and we regularly text each other things, mostly to make us laugh and sometimes urgent things, but we do have a company provided line.
Okay. So you're relying on technology. Like this is why this works so well for you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your wrapping up the day routine look like then? Is it a hard stop at 5? Is it okay, I'm putting this on pause until I take the dog for a walk and I'll come back for another hour? What does that look like for each of you guys?
If you guys can hear me, I can take that. Sorry about the connection issue before. I think it's been fixed. But yeah, so end of day, like for me, I mean, usually about 5:30 or so, I'll call it as, time to take the dog for a walk, maybe get some fresh air and start planning dinner kind of at that time. It's always good, from a meal planning perspective to kind of have those planned out, because when you're working from home, time can be you can kind of lose track of time. And so maybe by the time that you're ready to have dinner, you found out that you haven't thawed that chicken or preheated the oven or whatever it may be, right? So it's good to kind of have that plan. And I found myself in certain situations having to order in often because I didn't plan. So I've made that sort of, and that can be a strain on the wallet. So I found myself, planning the meals a little bit better. And it's good, I think, like Yvette said earlier, to get up, walk around, get a breath of fresh air, and kind of refocus a little bit. So that's very important. But day to day, it looks a little bit different. So any sort of routine that you can have definitely helps tremendously.
Okay. All right. Well, so what is each of you your favorite perk about working remotely, about being able to work from your home, have kind of flexible hours? What's your favorite thing about it?
I'll start, just because I feel like I have the ability to work from the Bahamas whenever I want.
Oh.
albeit, sometimes there are connectivity issues or there are roosters in the background that I cannot avoid. So like Will, he's able to throw a ball at his dog. I can't do anything with roosters. Having the flexibility to work and travel really has been a benefit for me personally, just because I have a lot of family who's in the Bahamas. And so it's great to be able to connect with them, travel, enjoy the wonderful, clear blue waters of the Bahamas, and at the same time be able to work and help meet the needs of our clients.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Dom, I'm actually in Connecticut right now visiting some family. So, I mean, to that point, I'm able to come up here, continue working like I normally would, right? And it's just been, I wouldn't be able to do that if I were working, at a place that didn't allow this. So I found it super valuable. It really helps with the work-life balance of things, which I think is really important, to me personally, but I think to a lot of other people, especially, I mean, certainly everyone on this team. So that's been, awesome to be able to do that.
If I may, I've been working in banking and financial services for 15 years, predominantly for the bigger players. And what I had found is between the morning routine, having to get your clothes dry cleaned, wearing nicer suits, making sure your hair is done, you're presentable, and then the commute time. I was predominantly in Los Angeles. It really wears on you, and so by the time you do get home and you're able to either enjoy your evening or take care of some home items such as laundry and cleaning and things like that, you're just exhausted. And I can say that I'm much happier now being able to have the flexibility of throwing laundry in between meetings and then changing it out, or being able to eat from home knowing that I have things just in the refrigerator. I don't have to think much about it, or I don't have to spend that extra money to order in or go out. And it's just easier to move through your workday, and you get that flexibility. Now, as a startup, there will always be work to do. So it's really up to us to know when to work those extra hours in order to meet deadlines, or to take care of ourselves and not burn ourselves out. And having such a close niche team, we're able to let each other know when we need someone else to help us out with those things. But I think my happiness level has definitely gone up. My income has definitely gone down, but my expenses have also gone down, and I'm able to do different things that I've always wanted to do.
Do you have anything further to add to that about what's your favorite thing about working from home?
I would probably mirror what Brianna shared as far as commute and travel. It's no secret we're known for our traffic here in Los Angeles. And so the traffic from my room to my living room is real fast. It's like free flowing traffic. Nobody stops me. And so that's a bonus. Those hours that you spend commuting, or as Brianna shared, getting ready for your day, you're really investing in your work life or your personal life. So I think you get a lot of time back that we don't realize is spent in the car or spent doing maybe frivolous activities that we could reinvest in ourselves. And so I think that's a big, excuse the urban commute here, or the urban sounds. But so I would say one is really the time that you get back to invest in your business or in your personal self and your well-being. I love having access to, like Brianna shared, doing laundry in between calls or business meetings, or making a really good meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm not sacrificing dollars. And really, Finwell, we pride ourselves on financial wellness is wellness. And so being able to work remotely and make a nice, healthy, affordable meal that I know is checking all of the boxes contributes to my overall well-being too. So I like that.
Sounds good. Devin or Alice, would you like to ask any questions? Let me unmute you guys just in case. As I said before, these folks are going to be here October 6th. So if you're interested in their company, you can certainly, I'll be posting that so you can know what's going on and when they'll be on campus.
Yeah, so I have one question. How have client relations been affected, whether it be positively or negatively by working remotely?
I could take part of that one, and then I would like some of our planners and Yvette to join in. We started out as a virtual company, and so we had some advantages to that. So we were able to implement great technology from the beginning, and we set the precedent of that's how we would predominantly work with clients. Now, we used to fly in for our corporate clients to meet with their employees face to face, but what we had found, similar to this, is a lot of employees would later watch the recordings of our educational sessions. And so the transition from those face-to-face to just recordings was pretty seamless, and gained time back again to work with more individuals instead of the commute times and everything like that. So it's been positive for us.
Yeah. And to piggyback on Brianna, a lot of our clients, they always, especially those that are in the Los Angeles area, they always say, "Oh, thank goodness we don't have to commute," just because traffic is just so bad, and it makes the experience more enjoyable because people aren't stuck in a car for hours trying to get to a meeting, whereby they can just go anywhere in their house and take the call, and it's more productive. So that is one of the benefits of a virtual environment.
I have a question about so whenever you do the meetings, is the connection sometimes a really hard part in it? Like some lose connection, like Will now, we can't really see him, but so is that a problem that you ever stumble upon?
Yeah. I can give you a story. When I was in the Bahamas, I actually lost electricity on one of my calls. And so I had to just use the good old phone, and I was able to connect. And because I prep a lot for my meetings beforehand, not having internet or access to the conference didn't hinder the experience that I was able to deliver, because I knew that client inside out, and so I was able to deliver their presentation seamlessly. And so you just have to make sure that before you go on the meetings, you're prepared, so that if you have to pivot, you're able to do that as well.
So I'll answer both questions in one. So I would say that as far as working in a virtual world, to answer Devin's question, I think client relations really skyrockets because it is relationship centric, and it challenges you to personalize the relationship and make sure that you have consistent follow-up, that you're engaged with your clients, and that the outreach is personable. So you're not just another number on a ledger that you're walking through, or you're not another face in the crowd, and you might feel overlooked. So I would say in our virtual world, our client relations and is really important to the breadth of our work, and making sure that our clients, whether it's a corporate business to business relationship or if it's one of our members, that's also important. And then to answer your question, Alice, I would say that it humanizes it. I think that when you have something like the electricity goes out, or the dog barks, or you have to reconnect, it's almost like a blooper that you get to humanize. You can laugh it off, and you're like, you know what, you have everyday struggles like I do, and life isn't just perfect crisp cut thing that we're operating in, that we all are trying to kind of build the plane as we're flying it and figure things out. So I think it connects us even more, even though we're virtual and we're in distant places.
Okay, well, I appreciate you guys' time, and thank you, Devin and Alice, and we will have this up, so if you want to tell your friends this has been interesting, and they've had some really unique things they've shared, I know I've enjoyed it. So thank you guys for your time. I look forward to seeing you on campus when we're doing interviews. So anyway, and if Alice or Devin, if you need anything from me in the Office of Career Services, just let me know. I'd be glad to help you guys out.
Thanks, Devin.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.